this is your funny episode, Elena, but I do need to state for everyone because I need to be really transparent about these things. Um,
Is this about your mandrake issue again?
I have to follow up because if I don't, people are just going to assume that it either went away or it never got resolved. But I do need to come clear and let everyone know that I am alive again. I'm
How did that happen, Andrew?
so
My dear co-host.
a witch.
My God.
A witch summoned me kind of like as a familiar um to help out with like her spells and her potions and stuff, and she summoned me from the great aether where all the ghosts hang out in the internet, and she put me in a little bottle and she only released me so that she could use spells and make me go pick up weeds or whatever. And she kind of turned into like my mom a little bit, like she was like mom too, because she was like an older woman who took care of me in my life. Even
Right,
though
of course, as all moms do.
Yeah, so I was like she was kind of like my new mom. um, and then one day I had to go out on a big quest because she came up to me and she said, "I love you like you're my own son," and I said, "That's great, thank you, witch lady." And she said, "You have to go out. You have to restore your humanity. Go find these mysterious orbs. Climb a mountain." And so I went out and I did that, and I made a collection of wonderful, wonderful friends who all had their own individual story arcs. We grew as a found family, and it was just so beautiful. And then I reached the top of the mountain, and I fought a big dragon, and I didn't have to kill the dragon because the whole point of the story was learning like redemption and like overcoming past mistakes, like how I got killed by a mandrake and learned to overcome it to become a good ghost son.
Right, because the parallels between not killing a dragon and not picking up random bushes you find on the beach are super obvious to every observer.
Oh, it would have been because if I had killed the dragon, it would have been like I'm back to square one because I'm still the kind of person who would pick a random weed or kill a dragon by accident.
By
um,
accident? How do you accidentally kill a dragon? I'd love to know.
you get grind really well, you reach level 99, and it just gets so easy. um, but
Are you telling me that you reached level 99?
I'm well, not anymore. The game's over, um, but like I have like the memories and like the past experience, and I still can like craft really well, but I can't like my sword attacks don't like I'm in a cutscene basically for the rest of my life. I don't have the power that I did in gameplay.
Rip.
Um, and I spared the dragon, and then he gave me all the mysterious orbs I was looking for. The last one I had been collecting them the whole time, and it was like a whole thing. And all of my incredible friends were there with me, and we collected the last orb, and I took them back to my witch mom, and she cast one big final magic spell, and it turned me. It gave me back a new body, but this time I'm fucking ripped. I'm so handsome and muscular, and this was my reward for my incredible quest. And I just needed everyone to know about that because I feel like it would have been a really big deal if I didn't mention that now I'm ripped and huge, and I almost killed a big dragon. I feel like that's pretty necessary story progression for everyone to keep track of for the podcast.
About reviewing
About
media.
reviewing media. What did you do in that timeline?
Well, I think you must have been in like some like time displacement thing because the last time we recorded an episode was only like 5 days ago.
And then
Um,
I did all that.
and then you did all that.
I mean, like, it's
So,
in the course of the story, you don't really pay attention to how long it's been. You're just kind of watching and going, but then you look back and you're like, oh, that was only 5 days. Wow. Um,
I can't believe you grew close enough to a witch in enough time to call her your mother figure. Um, in only 5 days, so I have to assume there's some time displacement going on.
oh,
Um,
that's right. It was like lost years, and I was there for years, but then at the end she was like, "I'll send now that you have your human body back. I will send you back 30 years to where you were before you died."
Wow, I'm talking to an old man then.
No, just the brain. Because I never aged in the ghost because I was a ghost, and then when I got my new body, it was ripped
Ah.
and handsome and young and incredible.
So anyway, ripped and handsome Andrew, can I ask you a question?
That's me.
Did you grow up playing the Carmen Sandiego video games for the computer?
No!
Wow, so we have an entirely new player.
I know about them, though.
Um, because all Mandrake body recovery asides aside, that's what we're watching today, folks. It's Carmen Sandiego.
I know it seemed really off topic, but that's really what happened to me, and I had to mention it for the podcast.
No, I truly, Andrew, you're one of my closest friends. Of course I believe you in all your Mandrake misadventures.
It's not my fault that my life came to a terrible end and then came to an incredible beginning when I met a witch.
And now you're ripped and handsome.
And now I'm ripped and handsome and awesome and incredible, and I almost killed a dragon.
Well, those are a lot more adjectives than you were just using 2 minutes ago.
And yeah, no, I never played. I know all because I'm a gamer on the internet, and so I know all about her and her incredible powers and the way that she does thieving.
Her being Carmen Sandiego.
Her being Carmen Sandiego.
All right, just
and I
making
know
sure
about the song
from
from the because it had a TV show too, and they got like
yeah. Well, we're watching the new one, the Netflix original.
Yeah,
one.
they got a Netflix original, and everyone was excited about it. And I literally don't know what it could be about because in the original game, she wasn't. That game was named after her, but you didn't encounter her until the very end, and it was just exactly.
How would you know? You just said you never played.
I said I know about it. I watched.
No, Carmen Sandiego was there throughout the entire game, taunting the player the entire time. She's like, "Good try. Next time, maybe, player." And then that's just like, that's Carmen Sandiego. She's there.
And
she's taunting. She's
villain.
hot. What else do you want?
She is hot. I do. It is. It is. But that was the other thing that I don't know because she isn't the protagonist, and she's also not a good person. So I don't know what kind of rewrites they would have done for her to, I assume, for her to be the protagonist again. Because how fucking wild would it have been for them to make a Carmen Sandiego TV show and then be like, and she doesn't appear until the end. We follow this guy. He's a white policeman.
I feel like you're talking about the old Carmen Sandiego cartoon because this is, in fact, like the second or third iteration of Carmen Sandiego. There used to be an old one that I grew up watching in which you followed two, I guess you could call them player characters. And it was their mission to stop Carmen Sandiego, hence the title, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah, she's gone.
This is a bit of a different take. I wasn't super on board with it, but if I just kind of like mentally separate it from the rest of Carmen Sandiego media, it's like really fun and really good, and I do love it.
It's an AU.
It's an AU, that's right.
And that's
except like a canon one, which makes it not an AU.
What? Is it canon?
I mean, it is a canon.
All right, I was like, because I didn't even know what that meant in regards to Carmen Sandiego. I didn't know there was like deep lore.
I mean, something doesn't have to have deep lore in order to like have lore.
And so I don't. Oh shit! There's a pizza.
That's a pizza, and that's the end of the segment.
No, I'll be right back. I'll cut all this.
I'll cut
all the empty space. Just talk about stuff.
I'm gonna close
out
the segment.
No, we haven't even talked about anything else.
Well, whose fault is that? 6 minutes of Mandrake time.
I had to talk about it. It's what really happened to me in my real life. Just sit there.
Go get your pizza. So, dear audience, that would be Andrew prioritizing his pizza over this podcast. Why he didn't have this pizza ready to go when I said, "Hey, I'm ready," and he was like, "Dope, I'm ready." I don't know, but that's simply how it's been going. No, that's it. That's all I got. What did I do in those 5 days in which he was on a gallant quest to regain his body?
Did you stop recording?
No.
Okay, because I'm just gonna cut all that bad stuff out.
Well, it was actually pretty good. I
Oh,
dare say.
I don't even know what it was. I just kind of assumed. Well, I
Exactly.
just
So
assumed it was
you can
dead
just
air.
like keep your bad opinions on my improvisational skills to yourself.
Did you talk about what you
Um,
were doing for the 5 days when I was killing a
well,
dragon?
see, I was going to tell them my epic tale that I went on, except
Where you
you
met all
did reappear, and
where you
now
met
we
all of your
can.
incredible friends and grew as people.
Well, you don't get to know anymore because you did return, and now we can
One
close the
of
segment properly.
one of the people that I met on my trip was a
And now
cool
we're
little
back to
was a
Andrew.
cool little cat boy, and he had like a whole character arc where he learned to love again.
Sorry, what was that? I was on my phone.
uh it's not important.
Carmen Sandiego time.
Carmen San well, it's because I do want to do that. Oh, you do that one funny bit where you talk about the how what it was and who made it.
No.
All right, I guess we'll do that in the second part. uh
That's an aneurysm. I don't do that.
all right. I will yeah, no, I literally couldn't. I know that I'm trying to start that bit where I describe what the show is going to be despite not knowing anything about it, but there's literally I don't know. Like it's just going to be like a mystery solving, I assume, but she's a thief.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to stop
Excellent.
recording. Bye everyone.
Stop recording. Bye, guys.
I want
Hi, guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're back. I've been thinking about something for the past couple of honestly like months.
Yes.
So, Apple iPhone has an app for calling and messaging. It's called FaceTime. Uh,
Yes.
and it's so like it's FaceTime. You use it to talk to people on your phone, and it's like a video messaging service. Um, have you ever thought about how they called their video talking person to person video messaging service? They called it FaceTime,
Okay.
as in it's time for face.
Yeah.
It's face o'clock, and 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 it's time for. I've just been thinking about it. That's such a wild name for a thing. That's copyrighted. You can't call something else FaceTime because they'll sue you. It's our
Why didn't they call
FaceTime.
it like iTime or something? Like the whole I thing is their whole gig.
I don't. I mean, it makes. I guess it could. They could have done that, but I think FaceTime. Like it's time for. There's two options for what that means. It means that it's FaceTime, as in it's time to look at and use your face and look at other people's
Ew.
faces. It's FaceTime. The other option is it's time to put on a face for your friends. It's time to act confident, even though you normally aren't. Those are
Well,
the two
damn, you'd have to
options.
just call me out.
Those are
Shit.
the two options of FaceTime.
So anyway, we watched Carmen Sandiego, where a kick-ass girl in red does kick-ass things.
It's a good show.
It was really good. I forgot how good it was. I think I
Yeah,
remember saying
I
something like
thoroughly enjoyed
negative in
Carmen
the first part, maybe not.
Sandiego.
What?
I thoroughly enjoyed Carmen Sandiego.
Well, that's the podcast, everyone.
I'm hold on.
Okay.
Uh, I wanted to find. There it is. Carmen Sandiego is a Netflix animated action
My
adventure
God.
series with educational elements based on the media franchise of the same name created by Borderbrund. It's directed by a bunch of people. That's a mystery. Uh, there they all are. It has Finn Wolfhard in it.
It does have Finn Wolfhard in it. Good
Uh,
for him.
good for him.
He does play player.
He plays the gamer whose name is Player.
Well, okay, so the character named player is a direct callback to the actual games.
Oh, that's fun. And you're
Um,
helping Carmen. I'm him. I'm
uh-huh.
Player.
Your player, he's the
I'm
audience
helping.
stand
I'm
in
helping Carmen
character.
Sandiego. I didn't even pick up on that. That's fun. I
Hmm.
I
They do a lot of little callbacks to the games that like got me like really hyped the first time that I watched through it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's cool. I like that they tried really hard to make it like something that people who enjoy the franchise would enjoy as well, and I think they did a
Hmm.
good job at that. Uh,
Like
Obviously, I'm an animation boy. Love it. Good animation.
you don't have to say that every single time. I think we know by now that you are the art person. Although
It's not
I
art.
do
I
love
can't do art. Animation though. Shit, dude.
sure. I do really love the art style of this show. I think it's very. Would you call it like a color pencil effect? Um,
Yeah. It's more just kind of like aggressive cell shading in the
yeah.
like a lot of
It
very
just reminds
solid
me of whatever
colors.
pen I used to use in Kid Pix when I was in like third grade.
Wow.
um,
Uh
I really enjoy it. The whole thing just makes me nostalgic.
oh, yeah, no, it has a good feel for that. I love this show has a lot of cool references that I feel like I'm not smart enough to get them all. Like that's like it feels like every episode the characters say something and I should be able to like know what it was, but I don't.
Like their tone says this is something you should know, but your brain says I don't know what this is.
Yeah, no, it's wild. I noticed, I think it was either the first, I think it was the first episode, like literally, like I heard it and I was like, they really did reference that, huh? They made a fucking, They Might Be Giants reference. Episode one, they were like, this is our aesthetic. They might be giants. Because they had baby Carmen Sandiego learning her geography, and she just said for no reason, like they just out of nowhere, she did say Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Yeah, that's the big one.
And
Good
it's
for baby Carmen
good for
Sandiego.
baby Carmen Sandiego for knowing her geography and listening to They Might Be Giants. Uh, it's wild. It's fun. I It took me halfway into the show to remember that this is a kids show, with and in the sense of very like kind of simple plot, episodic like like not plot based. Like it's just for character, all that stuff. Like, cause at the beginning, like they introduced like all the characters, and they were all very, very one note, and I was like, whatever. We might get later stuff, and then I realized later, like, oh, well, even if we do get later stuff, that's fine. But it's definitely, they introduced,
It is a kids show.
yeah, they introduced Tigress not because they are just playing into the bitchy girl trope, which they are, but it's you're not supposed to worry about it. You're just supposed to be like, she's mean, and and she's here to be mean.
She's on the villain team.
Yeah, she's a villain and she's there. Uh, and that's
None of
fine.
the villains are supposed to be morally gray, except for Gray himself and the big plot twist at the end. Do we want to go into that now?
Uh, I want to talk about the character design, which was fine but lackluster. Uh, the,
That's gonna go on my tombstone.
uh, there she is.
Fine, but lackluster.
God, can you imagine like being like an engraver and getting that order?
No.
You would have to be like, is there any way for me to pretty up this message without
And I have
changing?
to like add like a little flower to it.
Like, can I like make it in a special script so that at least like you could read it, and it might, if you can't read cursive very well, it might say something else.
Or like your mental voice kind of echoes a little bit so it seems almost profound.
Yeah. But no, I want to talk about the character designs because Carmen Sandiego, she's iconic. She got the red. It's very good. I loved obviously she has more than one coat. She has like a fuck ton of them. And she definitely got them fitted to her more after after she left and grew out her hair. Uh, uh, but I did like the at the beginning when she first got the first coat and it was fucking huge. And then it kind
I
of
do.
kind of
I
kind of reads in like that she grew into her role aspect, but obviously that's not the same coat. She says she has a fuck ton of coats.
that whole like coat thing that they do is actually like what I know when we were watching this, I was like, I can't wait till we can actually talk about this. Because, and I don't think, because like I mentioned several times, there's like different canon, so they're not inherently related. But the first time I watched through it, I picked up on that because, you know, the woman's name's Cookie.
Yes.
Very clearly not a real name. So when I was watching through it, and she looks very similar to what Carmen Sandiego of the video games in the 93 show might look like once she were older. And so considering that Carmen lifted the like the hat and coat off of her, my first thought when I was watching through it the first time was, holy shit, this is like a reference to the first original Carmen Sandiego. And I thought they were gonna do like a whole like cool ass thing with that. Clearly they didn't, but I was like so excited for that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Carmen Sandiego, she's iconic. She's got the red. Her hair is wild. Just big. I don't know.
It's big and poofy.
Yeah. But she's great. Her character design rules, and she's everything makes sense. Like I love that her outfit isn't like weirdly. The only thing that is like weird and out of place is her heels, but like honestly, like whatever.
They're fun.
Like they're fun. Like I don't care. But like
and imagine delivering a kick in those.
Yeah, no, if you you could kick someone's ass hard with those heels, especially if they had like knives in them. Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah. Might be a little much for a kid's show.
One of a girl's got claw hands that she did use as if it was a gun when she stole that man's car.
She was like, tell it to the hand.
If someone did that
to me, my god.
If someone did that to me, I wouldn't. It's a glove. I wouldn't know that it was
my
sharp.
My first thought would not be knife. My first thought would not be knives.
She would like. She should have like clawed the seat or something to like prove it, but like whatever. Anyway, Carmen Sandiego is pretty much the only one with a good. Well, the all the villains, all the like the league of villains, not the students. They have honestly pretty bad designs. Like some of them are okay, some of them are bad though to look at. But the leaders of the villain group have very good designs. I like all of their designs, and that's pretty much
they're
it.
all pretty good.
And that's pretty much like Carmen Sandiego has 3 funny friends, and they all just wear clothes, which makes sense for Player because he's at his house. But the other 2, one of them wears a baseball shirt because he's from New Jersey.
And you can tell because he does have an accent, and they make a big deal out of that accent.
I do like their accents. Also, Ivy is so gay, like unbelievably gay.
Mm-hmm.
Like her design, her voice, her hair. Are you kidding me? Like they couldn't have made a gayer character.
They had Julia. Julia's pretty gay.
Wait.
Asian Argent.
That's her first name. Yeah, she is pretty gay, but she's also like. She's like not like flaunting it like
she's
Ivy
a business
is.
Gay.
Yeah, like Ivy's literally walking outside and just screaming that she's gay to everyone that passes by. But Argent is there and she's just like everyone knows, but she doesn't need to say it.
You just look at her and you're like, oh, that's a business gay right there.
I didn't really care about Devino. I mean, you're not supposed. He's an asshole the whole time. But I did like the end, like right before he got kidnapped, where he was like in the mirror and he was like, "You're an asshole. You know that, right? You're the worst person on the planet."
Yeah, that was a big. When I first watched it, I was like, "Oh, he's having a capital M moment." And then he had to talk about the foamy toothpaste.
It's foamy toothpaste.
Oh, foamy.
Yeah, that's a good way to knock someone out.
It really is.
Like that's like a very creative. Like I want to do that in like Dungeons and Dragons. I
don't think people brush their teeth in Dungeons and Dragons.
They just use like weird sticks. Yeah, and that's that. The character designs are wild. I loved Miss Dr. Bellum. I pointed it out while we were watching. She looks like Yzma when she's in her scientist uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. That's good. I like that. Coach Braun is she was nice when she was when Carmen was a kid. I just like the nice but incredibly powerful lady trope.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good
Yeah, it's
trope,
a good trope.
especially when she beat up that guy and then picked up Carmen and then said like, "Let's get you a cupcake sugar pie." That's incredible. Love that.
Like, we're pretty silent when we watch these things together. But like I heard Andrew react to that, was like, that's a good moment.
Wow. uh, Also, Canon, the Deep Dark Web.
Deep Dark Web.
It's the sequel to the Dark Web. Uh,
It's just the dark web times two.
yeah, he went deeper into it to find why did they post it on the dark web? they
Listen, you can't. I don't.
they kidnapped
It's a kids show.
they kidnapped Devino and they were like, "All right, we got to make sure Carmen knows that we kidnapped him. Let's post it on the most obscure place on the internet."
I mean, it's just deep dark web Twitter. All villains and anti-heroes frequent deep dark web Twitter.
I also
You know
like
the joke I was going for.
yeah, I like the way that because I in the beginning part of the episode I mentioned that I didn't know how they were going to do it because Carmen Sandiego isn't a good person. She is a thief and steals lots of things. I liked this concept of her just kind of returning all the things that were stolen. That is fun.
Mm-hmm.
She is very rootable.
She's very rootable.
You can root for her. So, what do you have to say, Elena?
What do I have to say? Nothing,
All right.
apparently.
Yeah, no,
I like Shadow-san. I wish he had a different name.
I do. I didn't. I noticed it immediately that his name is Shadow
Yeah.
Sant. That they were just like he's Shadow but Japanese. Shadow
Yes.
Sant. It's fine. I mean, you get used to it. That's why man, watching cartoons is wild as someone who like pays attention to voice actors now
Mm-hmm.
uh because I can't whenever I hear characters that are voiced by people that I know from other places, I can't help but just only hear them. Uh Liam O'Brien is in there a lot. He plays uh what's this fool's name? Mouth
Malcolm?
what?
No. Maelstrom.
Maelstrom. He plays that guy, and then he also plays both of the cleaners.
I mean, they're basically the same person, so it's only like he's playing two people.
I know this is wild. And there he is. There's Liam O'Brien, and they have a bunch of other people. I still
Yeah,
don't.
like the
I still don't know who I was hearing in Paper Star.
Paper Star.
Such a recognizable voice. I don't know who she is though.
She's only done like 3 voices.
It's so unbelievable that I would have heard her from somewhere else. Because she hasn't done anything, but I don't know.
She did Penny Parker from Into the Spider-Verse.
She did Penny Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
And I think the guy who plays Shadow-san did Hanzo? I don't know Overwatch, but
I
his
don't know.
voice sounded familiar, so I looked it up.
Oh.
I
wanna,
think he plays Hanzo in Overwatch.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
We're gonna look it up.
Well, because I also was curious about him because if I had to guess who voiced him, I would guess. No, it's not who I thought it was. Yeah, he does play Hanzo. I honestly kind of thought. I know that I was wrong, but I kind of thought it was. I don't know what his name is off the top of my head, but who plays Samurai Jack. Which is, it's not him. That is not
Jackie.
who. Yeah,
Jackie Chan?
that is Jackie Chan does not play Samurai Jack.
Does he? I don't.
No,
He did some voice acting.
it's Samuel Jackson. That's not who. I don't think that that's who that is. Oh, it's because I looked up Jack, and then they were like, "You wanted to see this guy,
Phil
right?"
Lamar?
Yeah,
I don't know who that is.
he is in a lot.
What did Jackie Chan do? Because now I feel silly. That's on air.
Jackie Chan just does like samurai and kung fu media.
Oh, he did American Dragon.
He was also an American Dragon. But no, Phil Lamar, he does all bunch of stuff. He was also the guy in Reading Rainbow.
Yes.
Uh, and then they were like, "You want?"
Reading Rainbow was good.
It was. And then they got him to do Samurai Jack. Anyway, Carmen Sandiego. I want.
Right.
I didn't really care too much about Gray. I understood his purpose and that he's supposed to be like handsome Australia boy, but he was weird.
I liked Gray.
I do.
Don't be mean to Gray.
I liked him. I liked his like role. I didn't really like his design. I didn't think that he looked too great.
Yeah, he does look a bit
uh, just
boring.
he's very boring. He kind of looks like an action figure. Uh, like he's like a Ken doll. Um, and he
Don't say that. That's
uh,
so mean.
and but but I liked what they did with him with the whole because I was expecting it to play out. This show does a lot really interesting with the fact that they just don't resolve some things,
Yeah.
which like
Which I mean, I guess they were anticipating a second season to resolve other things, but
that, but also it doesn't really make sense to resolve too many things in a kids show that is built to be episodic, because if you jump into any, you know, shows like this are built to be jumped in at any point. You can just kind of like
right.
understand the gist, which this show doesn't do a good job at that, but I'm not gonna blame them because they did want to tell a story.
Well, and we also like are moving in like a interesting direction because it's a Netflix show, which means it's intended to be binged. Like they don't release it weekly.
That's yeah.
So it's like they have to have some elements of a plot, but they wanted the spirit of like a kids episodic show.
Yeah.
So they like tried to do a mismatch of both.
Mm-hmm. It's they definitely if they're I assume their intent was definitely to create like a cool little fusion, and they did good on that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish Netflix was a better company that released shows that weren't all at the same time designed to be bingeable, so that you could just people could make like old ass kid shows again.
Yeah.
Like I wish that Netflix was built in the sense that you could do episodic releases and have stories built around that concept instead of just that. It's so upsetting that they don't, because they do it in other countries. I know
Yeah.
that. So like fuck us, I guess.
Well, even like I mean other streaming services do it really well, like Hulu does it.
Mm-hmm. It's just whatever.
I don't know any other streaming services.
YouTube. They have their own
I
shows.
guess technically that, well, sure, we can go with the sure for that one.
Hey, we're posting all our podcasts on YouTube, so
We really are.
we don't have any money.
Aw.
But yeah, no, I thought it's fun. The animation was very fun. I said it earlier, but I liked the style. I don't know if they were using like rigs, like if they like rigged up everyone to move like that, or if it was just very fluid, because
Yeah, I don't know either, because some points were almost like they were using some sort of like 3D modeling, like with the car.
well, yeah,
like
no,
whenever a car would appear.
any vehicle in this was definitely a 3D model, but it was a good 3D model. They did that was the fun aspect with their cell shading, is the 3D models looked, if you took a screenshot of the 3D model, it would look just as good as it looks like it is fully in place. The only thing that was making it a little awkward is the fact that it was so fluid, and so very clearly a 3D model. But the animation, like the 2D animation, it was 2D. All of it was definitely 2D. But I was curious if it was like they were using like bone tools to like have the characters be like little paper cutouts that they move around, which they definitely could have done, and that would have been fine. Because a lot of shows do that, and it's very good and very easy. Helps animators animate better and faster and more fluid. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Now I want to talk about the story.
Sure.
So I don't know how to begin now. The backstory, Carmen Sandiego, and like her backstory is they do it in a really unique way in the sense that they kind of forget about it half the time, but it's still like always her driving force.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think they do like because like they answer some questions at the end with the reveal of like Shadow-san being the one having found her.
Hmm.
Um, and then they just like immediately have like Carmen herself bring up like more questions, like what was he doing in Argentina,
Yeah.
which is a really good question.
Yeah. Man. Uh, yeah. No, it's the definitely with pacing. This show's good. Has good pacing. Which is in line with the episodic nature of it. Like they definitely don't reveal too much in every episode until the very end, where it's like a big deal. But they get across a lot. Like I did notice, like, yeah, it is her driving factor for the most part. I liked that one episode where player is like, well, we could go over here to over to Argentina, and she's like, I don't think I want to go to Argentina yet.
Yeah.
I just I just
She's
got
like,
off
you
my
know
eye.
what? Maybe it's just not yet.
That's fun. Uh, and yeah, no, the Shadow-san is a good. It was a good twist. I didn't see that one coming. It was a that's a marker of a good twist. That one is fully out of nowhere, which but makes sense. I especially
Yeah.
liked the revealing that he was the one who fucked up the helicopter
Mm-hmm.
because when the cleaners in the second episode were like, oh, she thinks of everything, doesn't she, and like shows that the helicopter had been fucked with. I was i was fully okay with the fact that she had just done that. Like I
But see, the first time I watched it, I was like, there's no way she would have had time to get out there when it was under lockdown and either do it before she got to the boat or be like between leaving and getting to the boat.
hmm,
And so like I like the way that they went back and answered that was like really really good.
uh, I am it makes me very curious what would have happened if Shadow-san did get on the boat and just been like,
Yeah.
all right,
Sayonara.
I'm your dad now. We're gonna go live somewhere else. Because like that was definitely like he was gonna leave.
Mhm.
He was gonna leave if he could.
He was just going to fucking dip.
But sadly
Which honestly good for him.
he had to go and be a villain more. It's a weird. I said it before we started recording. He has a weird set of morals because he is still okay and doing crime and loves it, and like, I mean, maybe he doesn't love it, but he definitely is like fine with it. Uh, but it's just like this girl doesn't he doesn't like that. She can't do crime.
I mean, it might have just been that like I think the implication is that he is trying to take Vile down from the inside because he did leave Carmen with like a whole other year's worth of like caper data.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
cuz
just I'm just confused about like why, like, he's been there for so long. Like that, because if that is the case, that he's trying to take it down from the inside, he could have done more.
he could have done so much just like in like not teaching people to pickpocket good.
uh Especially since I think that uh, I think what the audience is supposed to take away is that he if if this opportunity didn't like make itself known, he probably wouldn't have tried to take it down. But now that he
Right.
thinks that he can, he probably is. That's what he's going
Yeah.
for. Because he didn't
Like maybe
he
he
didn't
watched
expect.
Vile.
Yeah, no, he didn't expect Carmen to start doing stuff. But then as soon as she started doing it, he was like, yeah.
He's like, "All right."
Uh, and that's yeah.
Yeah, I haven't I want to watch season 2. I was like really excited when season 2 came out and I didn't have internet at the time so I couldn't watch it. And then I just kind of like lost interest when I finally did have internet.
Uh, yeah,
And so now I'm going to go watch it before I lose internet again, I think.
sure. I might also watch it at some point, but I don't know when.
I'll let you know if it's good or not, I guess.
It'll be good. I'm sure. It's only season two. Most shows don't get bad until like season six.
It depends on the writers.
Depends on the writers. Uh, Yeah, and that's it. And that's Armin.
That's Carmen Sandiego.
I think that she's funny. I it was I don't know, it's just like a final note, I guess. It makes sense that she isn't as like sexy stylized as she was in the games because it's a kids show.
She's also younger than she was in the
She's also
games.
a lot younger, but it does beg the question, why was she so sexily stylized in the game?
Cause I mean, I wouldn't say she like in the games and like in the '93 show that she was like sexily stylized.
I
It was
mean,
just that she looked good and she did badass things, which of
yeah,
course
no, it was
anyone can get behind
yeah,
as
no,
sexy.
it's not. She wasn't like flaunting and like wearing like revealing stuff. She was just like powerful and incredible, and everyone wanted to date her. But in this show, she doesn't have that appeal anymore, which I get because it's a kids show. They don't need to worry about that. Um, but it's
Or
just
should.
or should. But it's just weird. It was just a weird because that's what I was sort of expecting the whole time, but they didn't, and that's fine.
there
I'm glad that they didn't.
there is one shot in like the last episode, I think, where she like opens the curtains and like she's just like got hips,
I
like
she
Elastigirl kind of hips, and I was like, when? What?
No, I've been noticing that her body proportions are wild the whole time. Like she is definitely has a lot of hip, and that's fine, I guess. Um,
I guess just like a shot that made it obvious because usually she's wearing the coat, and like you can like blame like cinching of belts
I,
for those kinds of looks, but she
I,
was just wearing regular ass clothes there, and I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
art style.
I did, I did like this show like deliberately did not do any fan service.
Yeah,
Like even in the situations where I personally wouldn't even have seen it as fan service. They made sure not to like go there because like there's like a whole sequence where she's at the beach and she's literally in a bikini, but the whole time she has her like knees up to her chest, and so you can't see
yeah,
her. uh, and it was just like that's just cool. That's fun. It's nice that they didn't have to like they didn't like if they had just drawn her in a bikini like having fun, I wouldn't have seen it as fan service. But like now that they didn't, I'm aware that it could have been read that way, and so it's cool that they didn't.
mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, and that's it. And that's Carmen Sandiego.
That's Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm still thinking about that last episode because it does get like really unexpectedly brutal. Um,
she does get fucked up a lot by
she
by her mother
Coach,
figure,
yeah, Coach, what Bruner?
Brun.
Coach Brun was going to literally crush her to death, and she like stated that explicitly.
I Yeah, okay, yeah, that is what she was gonna kill her.
Like, I was like floored by that because like it's such a sharp turn from the rest of the show where it's like nice and dandy, ha ha, caper hijinks, and then Carmen is dying, and they do show the pain on her face several different times.
Yeah, that voice actor, like they were like,
Yeah.
can you just like get punched in the gut and then like die on on mic, please? Uh,
Yeah, if you could just put a little more pain into that, we can
uh,
punch you for you. If like we'll get also like a sound effect for that. All in the same shot. Some Foley work. You good with that?
yeah, and it's wild that she just gets beat to shit, and that's what's happening. But she's fine. Don't worry. The Shadow
She's
Sun shows up,
fine.
and she is fine. Uh, so yeah, that's just said it. It's a third time's the charm. That's Carmen Sandiego.
That's Carmen Sandiego. Our intro, middle, and outro song.
That's right.
um, done by Gigi Byte, Gigo. I'm gonna try that
Uh-huh.
again. Or Andrew, you want to take it?
Sure. Our intro, interlude, and outro music is "Sparkling River" by the artist Gigi Byte. He is both of our friend.
Yes.
The two of us. It's spelled Gigibyte. Find him on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. And buy the music. Give him money. Give it to him. Sparkling River. It's got. I asked him the other day if the little popping noises.
You
If the
can't just expose all his secrets like this.
I asked him. We were in a call with him, and I asked him, hey bud, I've been listening to Sparkling River a lot for podcast reasons. Is the popping at the end of the song you literally going? And he said yes. He said absolutely yes. That's me doing those
He
noises.
was like, you got it.
So like definitely for just following through, go give him money for all the dedication to make all of the popping noises for his music.
Just go do it.
Popping noises ain't cheap.
Well, sure.
And go watch Carmen Sandiego.
Watch Carmen Sandiego.
I rated a 10 out of red.
All right.
I also liked
Bye, guys.
I liked the inclusion of the Carmen musical. That was fun, especially with the pacing of the action to the music. That was fun.
We have already signed out. We can't do any more.
I've been Andrew, and that's Elaney.
Don't ever call me that again. I swear to God, I'm just.
You can call me
Bye, guys.
Andy and Laney. Bye.